Okay, let me ask you this. What genuinely gets you up in the morning? What's that pull, that feeling that your life has meaning or, a purpose?
It's a huge question, isn't it? Something many of us definitely think about.
Exactly. And today we're diving deep into this really fascinating Japanese concept that gives us a way to explore just that.
That's right. We're talking about Ikigai,
Ikigai.
which translates pretty profoundly, actually, to a reason for being.
A reason for being. Wow. And our mission today is really to unpack the different layers of Ikigai. We want to look at its roots, where the word comes from, how people usually interpret it.
And some maybe surprising psychological takes on it, too.
Yes. And even how it links to things like health and, well, living longer.
The goal is to give you a really solid understanding and maybe some things you can actually use or think about yourself.
So where should we start? Maybe with the word itself.
Good place to start.
Okay.
So, Ikigai, it's actually made up of two Japanese words. You have Iki, which means life or alive,
Okay, life.
and then Kai, meaning effect or result or worth.
Hmm.
When you put them together with a slight sound change, Ikigai literally means something like a reason for living or what makes life worth living.
A raison d'etre.
Precisely. A raison d'etre.
That sounds so significant. Is it always this massive life-defining thing, or can it be, I don't know, simpler? Because I noticed the Oxford English Dictionary definition is broader. It says a motivating force, but also anything that just brings pleasure or fulfillment.
That's a really key point. It shows how flexible the idea can be. It's not necessarily one huge thing. Take the book Ikigai, The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life by García and Morales. It's quite popular.
Right, I've seen that one.
They describe it more as the happiness of always being busy, which is interesting. They even say it goes a step beyond logotherapy. Viktor Frankl's idea of finding meaning through suffering. Ikigai seems more focused on finding that meaning in, well, everyday engagement, often positive engagement.
Ah, okay. So less about finding meaning in hardship and maybe more about purpose in just doing things, being active.
It certainly seems to lean that way in their interpretation. And it's not just authors defining it. The Japanese government, believe it or not, put out an official definition back in 2022.
Really? What did they say?
They kept it very broad. Basically, that which brings value and joy to life. And they listed examples. People, like your kids or friends, but also activities like work or hobbies.
That covers a lot of ground. Children, friends, work, hobbies.
It really does.
Yeah.
It suggests Ikigai isn't this single narrow thing you have to find. It can come from many places.
That adaptability feels important. Now, speaking of interpretations, lots of people probably first encounter Ikigai through that Venn diagram.
Yeah, the four circles, it's everywhere.
Popularized by Garcia and Morales, right. Though they credit Mark Wynn, and it was inspired by an earlier diagram by Andres Zunaga about purpose.
Exactly. And that diagram suggests Ikigai lies where four specific things overlap.
Okay, what are the four?
So first, what a person likes. Basically, your passions, what you love doing.
Right, love.
Second, what a person is good at, your skills, your talents.
Sure, makes sense.
Third, what the world needs, how you can contribute, make a difference.
Needs, okay.
And fourth, what can be rewarded, what you can actually get paid for or recognized for.
Reward. Huh. So it's passion, skill, contribution, and viability.
Yeah.
That's quite comprehensive.
It is. It brings together the internal drives with the external realities.
So the idea is that the sweet spot, the real Ikigai, is right there in the middle where all four circles meet.
That's the concept presented by the diagram, yes. Finding that intersection is meant to create this really potent, sustainable sense of purpose.
A powerful alignment. Okay, so fundamentally, Ikigai is about purpose, motivation.
Yes, a sense of purpose, a source of motivation.
But it's maybe not always some grand life mission. It can be more every day.
Definitely. Research by Michiko Kumano, for instance, found that in Japan, feeling Ikigai often relates to the sense of accomplishment and fulfillment you get when you're just pursuing your passions.
Accomplishment and fulfillment from passions.
And crucially, she notes these aren't things forced on you. They feel spontaneous, voluntary. They come from your inner self.
That feels right. Personal, spontaneous, not like a chore.
Exactly.
But then I heard about some classifications from a Japanese psychologist, Katsuya Inoue, that sound, well, quite different, almost challenging.
Inoue. Yes, he definitely adds some, let's say, unexpected dimensions to it. He starts by breaking Ikigai into two aspects. First, the sources or objects that give life meaning.
Okay, the source.
And second, the feeling that life has meaning because of that source.
The source and the feeling. Got it. But then
Then he looks at it socially and comes up with 3 categories. And this is where it gets really interesting.
I'm braced. What are they?
Okay, first is social Ikigai. This is the stuff society generally approves of. Think volunteering, community work, things like that.
Right. Positive social contribution. Makes sense.
Second is non-social Ikigai. This isn't about interacting with society directly. It could be, say, religious faith or maybe intense self-discipline, personal hobbies pursued alone.
Okay. More internal or personal pursuits. Still sounds reasonable. What's the third?
The third is anti-social Ikigai.
Antisocial Ikigai? What does that even mean? Like finding purpose in being antisocial.
It's startling, isn't it? Iki suggests it's a basic motivation for living that comes from, well, dark emotions.
Dark emotions.
Such as the desire to hate someone or something intensely, or even holding on to a desire for revenge as your reason to keep going.
Wow. Okay. That completely flips the script on the usual find your bliss idea of purpose. Hating something as your ikigai. That's a lot to process.
Oh, it absolutely is. It forces you to consider just how wide-ranging human motivation can be, that even things we see as negative can, for some, provide that fundamental reason to exist.
It definitely broadens the Western concept of purpose, maybe uncomfortably so.
It does. And remember, the whole concept was really brought into wider discussion initially by a psychiatrist, Miko Kamiya, back in 1966 in her book On the Meaning of Life.
Right. And it seems like how people thought about ikigai has changed over time, too. Like back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, it was maybe more about either helping society.
Subordinating one's own desires to others, yeah.
Or the opposite, focusing on improving yourself, following one's own path.
Exactly. Kind of 2 main tracks. But that's different from what the anthropologist Chikako Ozawa da Silva found more recently.
Oh, what did she find?
She observed that for many in the older generation in Japan, ikigai was tied to fitting in, the standard mold of company and family. Very traditional.
Okay, stability fitting the mold.
Whereas for the younger generation, she found it was more about their dreams of what they might become in the future. More aspirational, maybe more individualistic.
A real generational shift in focus. From fitting in to future dreams.
Seems so.
Now, shifting gears a bit, there are also some really interesting links to health being reported.
Yes, quite a few studies have looked into this.
I read that some research suggests people who don't feel they have ikigai seem to have a higher risk of cardiovascular diseases.
That's correct. That correlation has been observed in some studies. Heart health seems linked. But it's also important to note what wasn't found. Those same studies generally didn't find a link between lacking ikigai and, say, developing cancer.
Ah, so it's specific, not just a general link to all bad health outcomes.
Right. The evidence points more specifically towards cardiovascular issues.
And maybe the most famous connection is the one made to longevity, especially in Okinawa.
Ah, yes, Dan Buettner and the Blue Zones. He definitely highlighted ikigai as a potential factor for why people in Okinawa live so long.
What did he notice about them specifically?
Well, he observed that many Okinawans don't seem to have a strong desire to retire in the way we might think of it. They often keep doing work they enjoy, or their main activities, for as long as they're physically able. It gives them that daily purpose.
So staying active and engaged through meaningful work or activity.
Exactly. But Buettner also pointed out another crucial factor for Okinawan longevity, something called moai.
Moai. What's that?
It's basically a close-knit social support group, like a group of friends they've known often since childhood who support each other throughout their lives, financially, emotionally, socially.
Wow, like a built-in lifelong support system. That sounds incredibly valuable, too.
Absolutely. So Ikigai is likely part of the longevity puzzle there, but probably not the only piece. The social connection is huge, too.
It makes sense. Purpose and community. Maybe we should all try to cultivate a bit more of both.
Couldn't hurt. And the impact of Ikigai is taken seriously enough that researchers have actually developed an Ikigai scale.
A scale to measure it.
Yes. Essentially to try and quantify it and measure its effects on mental and physical health more objectively.
Okay, so bringing this all together, understanding Ikigai, it gives you this really powerful way to think about your own purpose, what motivates you, your well-being. It's not just some abstract idea from Japan. It's like a lens you can use to look at your own life, your choices, what actually drives you.
It really is. Which leads to maybe the final thought for you listening right now. Considering everything we've talked about, the different definitions, the Venn diagram, the passionate pursuits, the community focus, even that really surprising antisocial aspect, what does your personal reason for being look like? Or what might it look like? And maybe more importantly, how could figuring that out or even just thinking about it more actually change your daily life?